I'm happy.
And welcome in to Talk or Go Home. Nick Wilson, David Murphree, Clint Thompson. Happy to see you guys again.
Are you though?
I am. I mean, because we text all the time in the group chat, but I feel like we only see each other together, like as a group, once a week. Sometimes we don't record for weeks at a time, so then it's, I see him on a daily basis here and there, and then I see you.
You see me on a weekly basis at least.
At least,
Yeah.
But the only time the three of us are together is when we're recording this.
Right now.
Because we can't get Murphree to go out and eat anything and socialize. So
Well, he's eating almonds. How many?
almonds.
I ate 24 a while ago.
Ooh.
So
a few minutes ago.
Okay, serious question. Do you actually count them?
Yeah.
Really? You actually count them?
Mm-hmm.
I have an OCD thing sometimes. Like I'll just start counting stuff, like how many steps it is from here to there, and
See, I don't do that. I like things to be straight, or specifically catty corner for a reason. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like the legs on this
like
table
parallel.
aren't exactly
Like a picture got to be parallel. It's got to be a certain
like
height.
that. Empty bottle on the floor is driving me crazy.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't want it on camera. Sorry, guys, I had a water bottle.
Well, almonds are expensive.
What are?
Almonds are expensive.
Well, yeah. Why are they so expensive?
I don't know.
Can you go
come from
into
Hawaii? I guess.
Because everybody
come
uses
from
them
Hawaii,
for
I
milk
guess.
now.
What?
Everybody uses them for milk now.
Yeah. Where's the mammary gland on an almond?
I use almond milk too.
The first, I'm gonna start keeping up. That's the first laugh.
That's the first laugh.
by Aaron there.
How many times do you think he's gonna laugh when the guest comes on?
Ooh,
You think you're gonna laugh
just
when
when the
he comes
guest comes on. Hey, special guest, by the way. We're gonna throw that. We're gonna keep.
on? We're gonna let it be. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll see it in the title, but
Wow.
should we put it in the title?
No.
Should we put the guest in the title?
Yes.
No, I don't know. I don't.
We'll get more downloads that way.
I just know I should have been a meteorologist.
Ooh.
You think you could handle it?
No, I should have been a meteorologist.
Do you think you could have handled it?
Yeah. Well, I was in line to be a meteorologist.
Seriously?
Yeah, I was taking a class, a geography
Whoa.
class.
Okay.
You have to be. No, not really.
I
No, I was taking a class with some people that were aspiring meteorologists
and they
at
had to go
Jacksonville
through,
State.
They had to go through.
But I got
geography.
accused of cheating in the class, so I just
Did you
No, I
cheat?
didn't. I gave
Hey.
them answers.
Does this map look like snow?
No, I tell you who was the teacher of the class was a guy by the name of Dr. Ted K. Y'all remember him?
Ted Kennedy.
I do
Ted K.
I do know Ted K.
Ted K.
Very
He
well.
was the teacher of the class, and
He's
it
my
was a
imaginary friend.
geography class that we were taking, and so it was like one of those electives where that I guess some social studies people were in there, but there was also people in there that were aspiring meteorologists and things like that. But I gave them some answers one day on some work we were supposed to do. So
And you're the one that got.
yeah, I'm the one that got. So I just dropped the class. I got kind
I'll
of
show you. I won't come back.
well, I got kind of accused of cheating, I guess. So
Yeah.
I just dropped class and got out. And then that I never became a meteorologist.
Yeah.
After that.
What'd you end up being?
what could have been?
I don't know.
I know
You
he's
don't know what
Still,
you are
still
now. What are
wondering.
you now?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
He's still waiting to grow up to figure it out.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of in that same line.
When
too.
I am too. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out whether I'm doing what I need to do or not. Am I doing what I need to do, Clint?
I don't
Give me
know, I'm not
validation.
you. I can't, yes,
There
you are
was
doing.
plenty of thoughts that passed through your mind right there that you decided to keep for yourself for whatever
Yep.
reason.
Yep.
And I don't know if they were good or bad.
Yep.
Or were they good or were they bad?
Yep.
Okay, all right. I'll ask you afterwards. I
There you
guess.
go.
Did you ever drop a class?
Did I ever drop a class? That's what I was actually trying to think of. When I was at Auburn, I don't think I ever dropped a class. I think I ended up going through every single one. It's funny you say that because I had to take an outside class to graduate on time. I was missing one class, and I had to take an English class at Snead State online.
Wow. That happened
In
to
order
me.
to
That
graduate.
happened to me in here. I had to take a health class like the last 6 weeks of school because I didn't have a health credit in order to graduate. I mean, I'm on advanced diploma and everything else.
But you just never had help?
But I just never had help for whatever reason.
Really?
So, like, Coach Whaley, from Talk or Go Home fame.
Check out his episode. Welcome back, Sweat Hogs.
I actually had him for a computer class, which apparently I wasn't supposed to have. I was supposed to have a health credit for that. But anyway, he came to me and said, Thompson, we were going through your stuff, and you don't have a health credit.
You know what? You have told me this story before.
And if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to graduate.
Man.
So I had to go to Miss Gleason at the time and get a book, and she said, here's your stuff, 24 chapters worth of stuff. And I'm just Going through it.
Did you ever drop one in college?
I had to drop Economics 102 because I was taking 6 classes that.
What would that have been, micro or macro?
Macro.
Macroeconomics.
Macro.
See, I had an easier time with macro than I did micro. My economics professor at Auburn, I had the same guy. His name was Macy Fink. Y'all, and I love Macy Fink, I really do. But if there was ever a frat guy that became a professor, it was Macy Fink. The dude always
I'm good with numbers
always
and partying.
Yeah, exactly. No, look him up on Twitter. Him and his wife. He and his wife do nothing but talk about partying, their kids going to the ice cream parlor, and drinking. And it's like, okay, that's what would happen if a frat guy was smart enough to earn his PhD in economics and marry another sorority girl who was smart enough to earn her PhD in economics, and they got married and had kids.
Sounds like a regular Brett Kavanaugh there.
It's like they're party academics. Wait a minute, did you just make a joke?
I did. I did.
He just made a Brett Kavanaugh joke.
I did.
Did you ever think this makes
Supreme
me
Court.
this makes me
Supreme Court.
this makes me think? Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, think that you would be working on a project with Clint? How long ago
No.
did you graduate?
20 years.
20 years ago this year, right?
Yeah.
20
No.
yees ago in May.
I shouldn't be here right now. I had to drop another class too because I wore a hat in class. I had to drop that class.
I had a sociology teacher that hated hats, and I challenged her with my dying breath. I challenged her, and I wore a hat in her class every day. And she told me to take it off. I said, "Ma'am, that's not in the handbook. I'm not going to." She said, "What's my classroom?" I said, "Well, your classroom is owned by Gadsden State Community College, and I'm not taking my hat off."
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, it got really
Wow, you were
intense.
a grade A butthole.
Yeah.
Wow.
What should you not wear? Should I take it off?
What, right now?
Yeah. Now,
No,
sure.
what does it say?
No,
what
no,
does
no.
it
The
say on
lights
there?
are fixed
Oh,
a certain way right
okay.
now.
So if you look at his hat, can you look at the main angle there? Look
don't even
at,
know
well,
where
they
that
can't
is.
see it. It says Tennessee River Music Company. Yeah, there you go. There's your angle right there. So Tennessee River Music Company. Who owns Tennessee River Music Company?
Randy Owen.
Okay. Now, everybody look at his shirt. Show off your shirt. All right.
There's a microphone in the way.
Name the members of the band Alabama.
Right now? You want me to name them now?
Yeah, can you name them now?
Randy Owen, Jeff Cook, Teddy Gentry.
Okay.
Well, it used to be Mark Hernan.
So-
he was an employee.
Well, yeah, he was on the first album. That was a whole controversy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never understood that because everybody said, "Well, Alabama's only a 3-member band." I'm like, nope, you're wrong. They have 4 members, and apparently that guy was like just a sit-in or something. I don't
They just
know.
called
he was
him
just
an
the drummer.
employee of the band when they got rid of him. He was an employee of Alabama.
He was the drummer, right?
Yeah.
And then they got rid of him, or they separated their. But now he's in the song Tar Top, is he not? Don't they make mention of him in the song Tar Top?
I don't know if they do or not. I don't know if they make mention of him or not.
There's
I
a
have to go back and listen to
song
it.
where I think I don't know if they're necessarily throwing shade at him, but they do mention him. At some
It wouldn't have been that song because that happened after that song, all the stuff. They fronted him. I think they fronted him some money on that last tour, some merchandise money, and then they ended up probably not making as much as what they planned on making, and I think it ended up in a lawsuit or something.
Sour grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at Gadsden State, I was wearing this. I had to take a class where I checked out the tapes and watched them at home, and I just went to take the test. And the guy that was teaching the class, he gave us the rules, like no hats in class. But I was coming from practice, football practice from here, just going up there like once every 2 weeks just to take the test. And on the final exam, when he gave it to us, he put a question on there that true gentlemen, I think it was true or false, true gentlemen don't wear hats in class. True or false? So I just finished the test and left and dropped it after. It was the final that I was taking that he put that question on, and so it was a class where we finished up early enough that I could drop it. So I just went ahead and dropped it.
So you dropped it on the final?
Yeah, we
my
finished
goodness.
up early. That was the final I was taking that he put that question on. So I took it and just dropped it.
I just thought of something. Hold on, y'all continue.
38-year-old Clint would have had to come apart on that guy. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Really,
I just-
would've. So,
I don't. Yeah, I just dropped it. It was a situation where I could drop it because we finished up so early.
Right. See, the one thing I always did in college was what they call the mini-mesters. So you did 4 days of class throughout the week, and then you get done half a semester early, basically. So I always did my mini-mesters with my math and stuff. That way, because math's one of those things that if you don't stay in it all the time, you kind of forget about it. So we did the mini-mesters, and that really helped out. But
So I dropped 2. That's the only 2 I ever.
yeah,
Remember
that economics class is the only one I ever dropped.
Yeah.
So
I didn't drop those, but I didn't make good grades in them, though.
yeah. So you're so old that you could do the video courses.
Yeah, we checked out tapes out of the library.
See,
VHS.
I think that had just gotten done whenever I was in school, because you're talking 2003, 2004. I think they had just phased that out and was trying to get the online stuff, but it hadn't really gotten to where it is like now. So
yeah, all I did was just go up there to take the test. That's all I was going up there for.
So when you were in school, what were you going for?
Well, I didn't know the first 2 years.
See, I didn't either. And then, like, I don't know. I just said, I'm going to work.
Yeah, I didn't know the first 2 years. I kind of knew what I was going to be going into, but didn't really decide till I had to.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's kind of where a lot of people do. I mean, they go for their basics because you got to have so many of these basics beforehand. But at the same time, you kind of want to have an idea where you're going as well, because if you don't, then you just feel like you're spinning your wheels. And I think that's probably what a lot of mine was. When I left out of here, when I graduated, I actually was planning on going to school to be an ag teacher at one point, and then come back here and coach football. That was always my
Yeah,
my
you
dream
should
back
have.
then.
There's a shortage.
Of ag teachers? Yeah.
It took us forever
Yeah.
to find one this year. But what about your professional wrestling? I thought you were going to be a professional wrestler.
Well, that was actually right before. That was actually right before I decided I was going to do something with ag teacher stuff. But
And then that dream died, a professional wrestler.
yeah, Dad said
Dream
no
died.
way.
And
I
ag.
said okay, and then ag, just like the more I thought about it, it's like, man, I don't know if my thinking was I don't know if I could swing both. I don't know if I could do the ag teacher and the football coach. That's just an odd combination.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, there's been a few to do it. I've known a few.
But yeah, we had Mr. McHugh whenever I was here. Mr. McHugh was here for a very long time.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to go take care of the cow.
Aaron, I think you just made your mom joke.
Oh. Oh! Because of me or because of him?
Yes. Aaron, I love you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to crack that joke at your expense.
I had Mr. Mack as well when
Did
I was
you?
here. Yeah. So now he.
You would have Mr. Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tommy Hill. What was your relationship like with Mr. Mack?
Real good. I just saw him
Oh, really?
Really?
yesterday.
I
Yeah.
think I've seen him once since I graduated. And he was still here at the school, and he was up at the football game doing.
Oh, we used to go on trips and stuff together.
Really?
Go to drag races.
Really?
Over to Atlanta.
Well, and he was kind of the lead head with taking a bunch of these kids over to
Oh, yeah.
Talladega too for the qualifying, right? Like on a Friday, they take a bus and go over.
Yeah, they probably did that, and then he really, he took them to the ag convention and everything too. That's a great
Out in
trip
Louisville.
for the kids. Yeah.
Well, I was
That
playing
ag.
football, wasn't able to go. Hammy raves about it. He still talks about it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best things they can do. That trip they take,
Yeah.
like Indianapolis
Yeah.
up there.
Well, I think it was Louisville at the
Yeah,
time.
I would love to go on one of those. I know they have a good time.
What's weird about that is that's like at the beginning of the school year, right?
I don't know
It's
when it
during
is.
football, like the latter
That's what I'm
part of
saying.
football
Yeah,
season.
it's
Yeah.
like it's in the first semester, which is unusual for
Well,
a trip like that.
Right.
Usually those things are kind of like second semester towards the latter half of the school year, but that's
I'm gonna
on the
tell
front
you
side. I
guys
think it's
something.
October.
It is October.
I think it's October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if I've ever told you this, and you may vaguely
no.
remember this. I was a part of the forestry team here, and
Did not know that.
I was the top scorer in the county for 2 years.
No way.
Yeah.
He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
That's what we're finding out. So you would judge trees.
I would identify trees, and like with pine trees and stuff, they would mark them off. So you had to.
This is the most interesting episode we've ever done. I would stare at trees and determine what kind that it was.
Now look, I'll walk off this thing again. You know me, I will.
Okay.
No, we would have to tell the distance
Yeah.
in a given area,
Yeah.
and then we would have to identify trees. And the third part was you had to tell how many board feet are in like a pine tree.
Yeah.
So you
How much you could get out of it.
Right. So you had to go up to it and measure across, and then walk. I think mine was 23 steps out, and then judge how tall the tree was. Where you gave enough for the stump room and enough for the treetop, and how many.
Now, I never did judge the trees or anything. I did cows and pigs.
Yeah.
Judge those. But that that group that went, the last group that went up there to Indianapolis, didn't they go to that Garth Brooks show?
I think they did.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, they get to go do cool
Well,
stuff.
he performed for them. The FFA paid for him to perform
at
the
the
convention.
stadium. It was a stadium show up there. Yeah.
And they just casually just go to Garth Brooks, to a Garth Brooks concert at the FFA convention.
I'd have loved to have went to that.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Where you at on Garth Brooks? You like Garth Brooks?
I went to see him in Birmingham, but I mean,
This last time he was here, a couple of years ago?
no, this would have been early '90s, I guess, or late. I can't remember.
So
mid '90s.
Speaking of, like, I'm not gonna say. I guess I could use the term celebrity.
Yeah.
Can I use the term celebrity? We want to introduce, and hopefully this guy comes in. Paul Hawk's trying to call me. Sorry, Paul.
Absolutely.
I'm a little busy at the moment, but hopefully this gentleman connects via Zoom without any issue.
We hope you're.
I think we've got it set up correctly. It's all in Aaron's hands if it's not. So,
Fire.
Aaron, you're supposed to act like you know what you're doing. I don't. Well, when you can't get a job, just remember
It's this moment.
It comes back to this moment.
Hey, we don't. They're not here. They're not here to hear you. Get off. The mic.
You just got kicked off the mic. So this gentleman that we're about to bring on, he's a local celebrity. He's a local.
He may be more regional. Actually.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you say his name, a lot of people's going to know him.
And I think he's getting connected in. So hopefully he can hear us now. Actually, it's kind of perfect timing that he's connected in.
It's like we knew this was happening.
And there he is, Mr. James Spann. We were literally just introducing you. Welcome to the program, good sir. Talk or go home, everybody. This is for those of you listening. We've got ABC 3340 Chief Meteorologist James Spann with us. And for those of you watching, obviously you can see him right now. Thanks for joining us, good sir.
It is an honor to be here. I tried to make my timing good on the entrance here, so it looks like it worked out.
Turn the volume up, Aaron. I don't think we can hear him on the speakers over there. On the speakers, Aaron. Nope, on the speakers. To the right. To the right. On the speakers. Hey, Aaron, on the speakers over to the right. The speakers to the right. There you go, good sir. Yeah, there we go. He's pointing. Thank you. So we wanted to quickly say, by the way, that I don't know if you recognize this.
Unfortunately, all I can see is myself, which is horrifying. I can't see you guys. I can see me, but that's fine.
He sees what we're seeing right now. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and cut off the Zoom, Aaron, on the thing.
Oh my goodness.
So, well, I was actually holding up your book, good sir, Weathering Life.
Okay.
And I read it rather quickly, but I want to say, really good read. You're a phenomenal writer.
No, I'm really not, and I can see you guys now. My deal. I'm a numbers guy. I have always been good with math. I've never done well in reading comprehension or writing, but I just felt the need to kind of document where I've been, where I came from, because I want that to be an encouragement. There's a lot of people that have issues in life and they struggle when they're young, and I wanted to document some of the big weather events I've worked over the years, and I've been doing this for like a gazillion years. So that's one of the reasons I wrote that.
Well, I've got to say I'm a little giddy right now. Like, yeah. I don't know why. I mean, you're like a childhood, it's like Santa Claus in a way. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just some old goober from, from the weather office here. I've been doing this for so long. It is kind of cool that people kind of associate with me. They just, hey, he's been in my house for 40 years, He's just like part of the family. And I've tried to immerse myself in the culture of this state. That's the one thing I've tried to do since I started doing this. And, I'm on the road every day speaking to schools typically this time of the year, although today was odd, but normally it's Alabama. Today I had a school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania by Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Spoke with the patients at Children's of Alabama and their families, which is always a great ministry. And then I spoke with a group of medical professionals today over here at the Hyatt Regency in Hoover. But normally I'm seeing third graders. Those are my people. They think I'm funny.
I remember vividly you coming to Asheville Middle School. I don't know. This is probably, I don't remember when. I'm 26 years old now. So whenever I was in the 5th grade, but I remember you coming and speaking to us and talking about, well, you know, you mentioned it in your book, helmets, hard sole shoes and the like. But I remember all that information because you were so, I don't know. I just felt like you were on our level.
Well,
And
thank you for listening. Most people sleep when I'm speaking. That's awesome.
well, and
I have learned that typically kids can lead the way when it comes to stuff like that. A lot of adults just don't get into it. But if the kids pester the parents long enough, they'll wind up getting helmets for everybody and hard sole shoes and air horns and the things we talk about. Often kids will lead the way. So thanks for listening. That's awesome. You guys have a nice studio there. That's like awesome. Wow.
Well, thank you. Yeah, this is actually, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually an Asheville High School. We have a little program stuff we do here. And so this is where
home of the Bulldogs. I like it.
Hey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And all 3 of us are from Asheville, including the guy over there. We're all from Asheville. And so we all know about your Asheville ties. Even though our audience is sort of beyond Asheville, we wanted to kind of bring that up, if that's all right with you, and sort of talk about that a little bit.
No, we can talk about whatever you want. I'm just a guest here. This is your show.
So your mom taught here for, I'm not sure for how long, for a couple of years. Is that correct, Miss Carolyn?
Yeah, and all of our people are from Asheville. My grandfather, Curtis Adkins, who died right before I was born. He was the probate judge in St. Clair County. My uncle, my mom's brother, was the mayor of Asheville, Joe Atkins, and Joe was the president of Asheville Savings Bank.
Yes.
A lot of old timers would remember. He sold to the Louder family back in the late 90s. But the Asheville Savings Bank was part of our family for years and years. And Joe had expanded it into some of the adjacent counties. And but he was the mayor for a while. And all my mom's people are from Asheville. So I have very vivid memories. And here's a little odd fact that a lot of people don't know. I actually attended elementary school in Asheville for 3 months when I was in 2nd grade.
Oh, wow.
And you know, we had a situation in the family that was challenging. My father just left one night, and my mama didn't know what to do. And the right thing to do is just to come home. So she came home to Asheville with me, and she enrolled me at Asheville Elementary School for a few months in the fall of 1963 in 2nd grade. And one of the most bizarre memories of that, and I don't even know why I was home, but that was when Kennedy was assassinated, President John F. Kennedy. So I was actually in Asheville Elementary School at the time, but I have memories of that old school up on the hill up there. And then we moved back. We lived in Greenville, which is a small town in South Alabama, but we'd always come back to Asheville for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And, you know, I have very fond memories of Asheville, always have and always will.
Well, and you know, the gentleman to my right, I think he's probably on your left, but this is David Murphree. He was one of my high school teachers here. He and I both work here at Asheville High School now. And I taught
both of these too.
Yeah, he taught both of us.
Who was the biggest knucklehead here?
Well, both of them were knuckleheads. I don't know why I'm here. Hey, one thing I do want to get in before we leave, you mentioned Joe Atkins, and he was your uncle. And then I went to school with his kids too. Was in the same class with one of them, and the other one was
Wes and Brandy.
Yeah, we were good friends and did a lot of stuff together and hung out and went to Alabama games and things like that. So I knew them real well. I know them real well.
Yeah, and you know, Gay's doing okay. Joe's wife, Gay, is still doing fine, and she stayed there. She lives in Asheville, and
I actually go to church with Gay.
Really?
Yes.
And she's great. And my mom passed away in 2018, December of 2018. So we greatly miss her. But, you know, she taught school for a long time, and that's hard.
Yes.
I mean, that is tough. She taught high school English. And when I moved away, and the deal with me, I'm from Greenville, which is a little town in rural South Alabama. My mom's husband and my father, when he was with us, he worked at a lumber company down there. But after a while, my mom had to move something had to change. We had no child support, no money, no hope. We were broke, and we would move to Tuscaloosa because she needed to finish her college degree in education and get a job and support me. So she got a job teaching English in Tuscaloosa right out of college. And so she stayed there until 1980, which was I left in 79. And her last year teaching was 1980 in Tuscaloosa. And then she moved to St. Clair County. She wanted to come to Asheville right away, but there weren't the openings. So she taught at Raglan for a year, Springville for a year, and then she finished out her career at Asheville High School.
She was here in the late 80s when I was in school. And I remember teaching speech. I never did have her class, but I remember teaching speech in English.
Yeah, what's funny, I never took any of her classes because I was a math guy. And she was pretty, she was tough, but she was a great teacher. But she gave me the freedom to be me. And I will always be thankful for that, because I could work those math problems, but I couldn't really understand what she was trying to teach.
What's a pronoun?
It was high end Shakespeare and all this stuff. I'm just some, country Joe from Greenville, but she was so kind to let me develop my own path, and she was just great. And she'd reached a lot of people. When she died, so many of her former students sent me notes about how she changed their lives and impacted them in high school. And I think that was kind of cool too.
Well, we actually work with an English teacher here that had Miss Spann, and there's a picture, and we'll send it to you. It's your mom with her entire class, I think from 95 or not 94, 95, somewhere in there, when Holly was in high school here, Miss Smith, and she sent it to us knowing that we were going to interview you and wanted us to get that to you. But it's your mom with her class, and it's an awesome picture. It's a throwback for us anyway, because there's a lot of people I know that and I know that I know, and I know that in that picture. And so it's really, really cool. But
that's awesome.
Speaking about, you're just a guy from Greenville, a little country guy from Greenville. I found, and you mentioned it in the book, I found the YouTube video of I can't remember what channel it was on. A news reporter came to interview your principal and you when you started the radio station in the attic of your high school. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was totally an illegal operation. he didn't know that. The principal had no idea, and he didn't know anything about it. They interviewed him, and he was just kind of mumbling through it. He didn't know much about what we were doing. But again, he was so kind to let us do that. We built it up in the projection booth that overlooked the big auditorium that they had. And I had greasy hair down to my shoulders, and you talk about a redneck. I mean, it was the most vile South Alabama accent you will ever hear. I mean, I was a total greaser goober guy.
Nick talked about your accent. He said that okay then.
Sorry.
He was actually saying, listen to his accent, compare it to what it was to what it is now. So it's pretty funny. Yeah.
And see, I want to know, how long did it take you being on the radio? Because you started out in radio, then you kind of moved into TV. I think my notes say in 78 that you first got on TV.
You're good. You're really good. That's right. Yeah.
He's thorough.
Right. I wanted to make sure I was. Yeah, because you were on Channel 33, then you went to WSFA, and then you came to Birmingham. At what point did that accent sort of work its way out? And
it never goes away, guys. I mean, listen, you guys are always going to talk like you're from Asheville. I'm always going to talk like I'm from Greenville. You have to just kind of mask it. You have to cover it. Right. And what happened when I was in high school, after we built that radio station, I got a job offer from a local commercial real radio station in Tuscaloosa to work. And that changed my life. It was owned by a man named Burt Bank. He was an American war hero. He was in the Bataan Death March. But he gave me that chance. And I worked there for 5 years. I worked my way through high school and college at that radio station. And during that time, I would listen to those that I thought were really good, and understand they had an amazing group of talent there because of the University of Alabama being in town. And that's really helped me, because I would listen to those air checks and listen to what I sounded like. And it was so bad. Why they even hired me, I have no idea. How you do? It was just bad. But by the time I finished that 5-year hitch at that radio station, a lot of it had kind of faded. It's always going to be there. And then you get into TV, and again, you just kind of listen to people that are good. And I still do it today. I mean, goodness, and you got to work on it every single day. So every day I try and lose a little bit of that South Alabama twang.
Well, it really comes out with me anyway, whenever I get mad or I get really, really excited. So I'm sure that's pretty
Oh,
much
yeah.
the case with
Yeah, I
everybody.
haven't lost my accent at all.
And it is who we are. It is who we are. And you have to be professional. That's true. But at the same time, goodness, if you don't like me, it's the way God made me. I can't help it. So I mean,
That's right. That's a you
some
problem,
of it's
not a me
always going to
problem.
be there. And as I get older, I'm comfortable in my skin. If that makes any sense. I mean, I used to worry about not having any hair and, sounded like some guy from Greenville. But at this phase of my life, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, in your book, you talk a lot about, and I mean, it's a huge recurring, I guess you could call it theme, really, about getting to know your audience and being at one with your audience. And that's why you mention a lot about going and visiting these schools and getting to know the people. And that's why you talk about how social science has kind of changed how you do weather. So you visit all these places across the state. We watch your weathercast. All right. I remember vividly watching you on April 27th, 2011 in Shoal Creek Valley, Alabama, as right before the power was cut off. And you were the last person that me and my family saw. And you helped save our life, by the way. So how has visiting every single part of the state changed you? Because you talk about you being from Greenville and, you've got family here. But how is you've literally been everywhere. You've lived in Montgomery, you've lived in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Greenville. What about those different parts of the state have changed you? How have you changed over the course of your life?
You can't do this job unless you understand the people and the culture and the geography. And the only way to understand the people is to immerse yourselves into their lives by going to schools and speaking to the Rotary Club and speaking to the senior adults at First Baptist Church and all this stuff. And if you do this for a long, long time, like me, you'll get it. You'll understand people. And I tell the newer guys that work in these younger guys, heck, you might not have, that many school visits or requests for you to speak, but go down to the stinking Dollar General. You want to find out what real people are like that you're serving. Go to the Dollar General, go to the Walmart and talk with them. They'll talk with you. That when I get these brilliant interns in here in the summer, and they come from all over it. Recently we've been shut down because of COVID, but during normal times, I'll have students from Florida State, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Valparaiso. The first thing I do is take them to the Walmart in Adamsville, which to me represents the best cross-section people we serve. And if you can't communicate with those people in that Walmart, then you have no hope on television or media. And, we just have to reconnect with the people that we serve. And that's a really, really, really important part of this. You have to have a servant's heart. Everything, we're just servants. That's all we are. And especially during times of severe weather. And by immersing yourself with the people, traveling to these places, it's a win-win-win-win for everybody. In fact, goodness, knowing the territories half the battle. Nobody understands maps anymore. People can't read maps. And you say there's a tornado, 14 miles southwest of Clanton. Nobody knows what that means. But if you say that thing's near Jim's Pit Barbecue, everybody knows what it means. And that's another big help.
Jim's Pit Barbecue, your favorite barbecue joint, right? That's where you.
Oh man, good. Mr. Jim had that place, and this is a little when it opened, it was a little shack on US 82. This is the road between Tuscaloosa and Montgomery, and I drive that thing all the time because I was in school, I was working in Montgomery, and it was unbelievable how good it was. I was blown away. I get woozy thinking about it, and. Mr. Jim has since passed away, but his daughter Jeanette has it, and they've expanded it. And look, there's so many good barbecue joints here, and that's a very touchy, personal subject. People get all they get all mad about barbecue. It's like football and politics. But, for me, Jim's is ranks number one. In fact, if I ever have a minute, if it's a Saturday or something, and if I got a little time, I'll just drive down there to get some barbecue and clear my head. It's a great little drive in the country.
What speaking of, you referencing just almost obscure places, what in your recollection is the most obscure location you've ever referenced during a broadcast? There's always, Green Top Barbecue or the booby trap. That's always a fun one.
Yeah, that one got the most attention. And look, see, you guys, you're a bunch of city slickers from St. Clair County. But if you're from Walker County, if you live in Dora, Summerton, Bagley, Sayre, Corner, everybody knows where Wesley's is.
Oh, yeah. I know where Wesley's
I don't
is.
even think about it. I mean, I don't even think twice about it because I know that everybody knows where that thing is. So and everybody said, "Ooh, you called out a strip joint on the air." Well, so what? I mean, it's like, and I called out the Sportsman, which used to be this gas station out there, not too far from Wesley's in the Green Top. And Dave Baird, Dave is from Jasper. He'd always tell the story when he was in high school, they'd sell beer to high school kids behind the Sportsman. So everybody knew who the Sportsman was. But you have to make use of those landmarks. And people get mad or something. I don't care. The Tin Man on Jim Bird's farm. Y'all ever seen the Tin Man on Jim Bird's farm? It's on US 43 between Forkland and Demopolis. And again, it's just this obscure reference that nobody cares about, but he would make these big hay figures. Yeah. And that Tin Man is everybody knows the Tin Man.
Yeah. I know exactly where I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know that, come on, you know it. I mean, for everybody in Forkland or Demopolis, they all know that. And so you just have to make use of those landmarks, which is what I'd like to do. And again, my job, it's to mitigate loss of life. That's it. I was born to stand in front of a green wall when there are tornadoes flying around here. And I'm not the best communicator. I'm a very ordinary person, but you have to be effective. And I'll say this, what happened after April 27th is that we just learned we're not good enough. We're not as good as we think we are. The physical sciences enough are not alone, which is what I do. And so these brilliant men and women that are in social science that understand human behavior, they've helped us to be better at messaging people during severe weather and getting people ready. And I think we're so much better now than we were during the 2011 tornado outbreak. We're so much better. Perfect? No, we'll never be perfect, but we've made a lot of improvements. And I think you see some good examples like the Jacksonville tornado that came through there, Jacksonville, college town. Nobody died. We had a tornado in Shelby County, just right below the TV station here, March 25th of last year. Nobody died. So the biggest challenge we got now is mobile homes. We had loss of life in Ohatchee last year on March 25th. That was mobile home related. We had one in Lee County in 2019. That was mobile home related. And we've got to come up with a better product for people in manufactured housing in terms of getting out and getting into a shelter. It needs to be something between a watch and a warning. And we're trying to figure out what that is.
Well, I don't know. I'm surprised he hadn't brought this up yet. So, David, how old are you?
I'm 51. And
I've got underwear older than you.
Well, I've got a memory. I don't really have a question. There may be a question at the end, but I've got a memory or something I was hoping you could corroborate on when I was in 5th grade in Asheville Middle School. You come and spoke to the 7th grade. Now, I didn't get to hear you speak. I think these two have both got to hear you speak in school, but I didn't get to hear you speak because you were speaking to the 7th grade. But this has been over at the old Reuben Yancey. It's Reuben Yancey Alternative School. But you didn't speak to the 5th grade. But we were allowed to go to the window and watch you leave. And you left. You left, and this was in 81, 82. When you left, I believe it was a gold-colored or brown 280 ZX. Was that you? Do I have that right?
You are good. Goodness gracious, you're good.
I'm 51.
This man is got a photographic memory. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I had a brown Datsun 280Z with T-tops.
Yep.
And that was my hipster car back when I was a hipster. I got married in 81, and of course you start to morph into a dad, husband, more practical thing. But that was my last hipster car, was a Datsun 280ZX.
Yeah. That event that scarred me for life too. I wasn't able to become a meteorologist after that. I never got to hear you speak. I'm done.
That's awesome. That's too good.
So you've been visiting, like you said, it's your destiny to stand in front of a green wall and talk to people and go out and visit these kids. But I mean, you're a meme, and I mean that in a good way. The picture of you on the cover of this book right here. Okay. I cannot tell you how many different memes of you I have seen on the internet about weather. And it got to the point to where when I was at Auburn, I went to Auburn University, and there was obviously people from out of state there. And during any significant weather event, I would post on social media, or friends of mine that were also from the Birmingham market, they would post this picture of you and some little, obvious description or whatever to make the meme. And finally, one day I'm sitting in class and I have a friend of mine that I had that knew me from social media and from class and and they saw it and said, who's that guy? And I looked at him like they just questioned, whether the sun was real. And I said, that's James Spann. You don't know James Spann? But I do kind of think we take for granted how present you are in our, I hate to say it like this, but almost subconscious, because I don't know how you do it. You have the podcast, right? You wrote this book. You're on TV every day. You have the blog. You do, Rick and Bubba. I mean, and countless other.
I do 24 radio stations around the country in addition to Rick and Bubba.
And now the Talk or Go Home podcast.
Yeah.
And understand, guys, half the battle now, it's the social media, the face bag and the Twitter and the gram and the TikTok and all this stuff.
Yeah.
The questions come in so fast and so furious that wanting a personal answer. And I'm honored that they came to me. I really am. And I'll answer you. I mean, unless there's a snowstorm or something where there's such a high impact event, I just can't. But you got to deal with that. But it's a joy. I mean, I've not slept since 1973, but that's fine. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I mean, they pay me to do something that I love. And I think everybody should live their life like that. I've lived a dream where I've had a chance to do what I love since I was little. And the lack of sleep and the bad hours, that's fine. I mean, hey, I'm all in. And what's weird, guys, I feel better now than I felt when I was 30, and I'm 65. I mean, now that I've said that, I'm going to drop dead when I walk into the studio in here.
Please don't.
But it's just like there's a gym across the street here, and they've really changed things. That I started going over there 6 years ago, and they really helped with nutrition. And I'm doing burpees and box jumps and wall balls and sprints and sled pushes and stuff that I don't even know if I could do when I was 30. So they have really helped, and I'm very energized. And I'm just getting started. I mean, let's go. I mean, it's a joy to get up every day and do this stuff.
So before we go, you're a busy man, and we know you've got to go. And
I got to go ahead and say the 6 o'clock news starts now.
Oh, that's awesome that he just said that.
Yeah.
But I want to go first off. If you're ever coming through Asheville and you need a place to work out, our field house is always open and ready for you. But real quick, I want to mention this song, and I want you to tell me what it means to you. Jessica by the Allman Brothers.
Oh, man, that was the first one I ever played on WTBC, 6 o'clock on a Sunday night, that 6 to midnight shift. It was pure magic. It was the most magical experience of my career. And I played the long version because I was scared to death and nervous. This was a 250-watt AM radio station in Tuscaloosa, but everybody my age was listening. And that was a night. I've filled in for the CBS Morning News. I've done so many things, but nothing will ever beat that night. That was the first song I ever played on the rock and roll radio. That's awesome that you know that.
Like I said, I mean, this book is, when I tell you I read it, I couldn't put it down. I really couldn't, because it's the life of a man who's been in my life for, I'm 26 years old. So 26 years. So, I mean, it's just thank you for sharing quote unquote, the gospel, so to speak, and keeping us all safe. Like I said,
thanks, guys, you tell your baseball coach I want to be a guest third base coach out there for an exhibition game next year. And
look,
it's too late now.
Look, he would take you up on that in a heartbeat. I know he would.
Absolutely.
I know he would.
All right, guys, I got to run do the 6 o'clock news. Thank y'all for having me on. And somebody sent me a cake in here. Thanks, guys. That's awesome. My heart is warm and fuzzy. My heart is warm. Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys. So that was
James Spann.
That was James Spann.
that was James Spann. How does that feel, Murph?
That went all right, I guess.
Okay, we got to decompress.
So
we gotta decompress from that.
So you talked about memes, and one thing I do want to ask him: did you hear his stuff the other night? Whenever somebody had sent a picture of a trampoline all just tattered and torn, and he said that the state bird during tornado season is a trampoline.
That's great.
I wanted to say that.
How does he come up with that? I don't
know, because he's actually said on air before a cow peeing on a flat. I said it's come down hard like a cow peeing on a flat.
Well, you got Wesley's booby trap in there. I was thinking Green Top Barbecue. I was fixing to say something about Green Top.
There.
Yeah, and Wesley, I was thinking that. Yeah.
So, okay, first off, I know that was, and here's the crazy thing is,
We got to
You know,
end this podcast now. Like, it's going to be just...
But look, the thing is that none of us talked to him before that interview.
No. Well,
I emailed him. You talked to him on Twitter.
I talked to him on Twitter, and it's like, hey, let's get James Spann on.
Yeah.
You're like, he wouldn't come. And I said, well, what's the worst he can say is no.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. So I sent him a direct message on Twitter, and
he answered.
He freaking answered.
He answered. And
I appreciate that. He may not ever listen to this. We'll send him the episode whenever it's done up. But
I'm so glad he mentioned the cake, by the way.
Yeah, because I almost forgot about it.
I did too. I forgot to ask him about the cake. We got him a cake because
that's what he does when he goes to school.
Yeah,
they always give him a cake.
Give him a cake,
Well,
and so
that was one of the things I was thinking about asking him was, I mean, how many cakes does he think he's got? Because everybody gives him cake. Like on his birthday, does he just hate the thought of cake on his birthday?
I want a pie instead.
And what would be the best thing anybody's ever given that he really remembers? Besides a cake, like a gift somebody's giving a school or an organization. What's he do with all that stuff they give him? I wonder.
Well, I know the video of when he came during my third grade class. Like they walked into the studio with a cake, and everybody attacked the cake, and whenever it went live on air, the cake was half gone. And
I just thought that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd been funny if he would have had it on air. He's like, hey,
I wish he had kind of showed it because it said the cake said to James Spann, Talk or Go Home's #1 fan.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, we probably should have worded that a little different because Aiden's gonna be mad once he
That's
hears that.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So-
That's true. But Aiden, it was done in jest.
It was.
brother. We know.
Just a joke.
Yeah, because he doesn't know who we are.
He still doesn't know who we are.
Yeah. He's like, hey, think about that. He just did an interview with 3 guys he's never met before.
Yeah, all he knows, all he's going to take away from that podcast is Asheville.
Exactly. And hopefully it was a good impression. Hopefully. By the way, guys, I cannot recommend y'all buy his book enough. Weathering Life by James Spann. Like,
I'm going to recommend that.
It's
No, go ahead. I'm not.
It's really, really good. It's okay. There we go. It's okay.
I brought the book.
I don't know.
But you read it.
Stop switching the cameras.
Okay, yeah. Okay, there it is. And there
Don't put it on me.
So, Weathering Life by James Spann. Seriously, it's only. Let's see. It's
very short.
There's no numbers on the pages, but it's not. Seriously, I mean, it's an easy read, but it's an intriguing read. And one thing that we didn't have time to go into because we literally only had 30 minutes with him.
Yeah, we were hoping to get him in studio, but obviously the
he's so
schedule
busy.
and whatnot.
Well, he said he wants to come out here.
It was
to the baseball game.
Yeah. Hey, it was a swing and a home run. That's all I'm gonna say.
We got it.
Yeah,
we got it. And I wanted to ask him about what WO4W meant to him because that's his ham radio call sign. We didn't even get to talk to him about ham radio.
Watch out for weather.
Watch out. That's what people have said that it means. Watch out for weather. Huh. So when they're referencing him on ham radio, his ham radio buddies say, "Oh yeah, that's watch out for weather." So if you're ever you ham radio people,
all 4 of you,
if you
4 of the 12 that listen to us,
you just made the entire ham radio population that listens to this podcast extremely angry at us.
Okay, at me,
at you.
Send your complaints
we better
to
get
Clint
into ham
Thompson.
radio.
Yeah, send your complaints to Clint Thompson, care of Talk or Go Home. I'm sorry.
I got a CB. Might as well get
I'm just saying that it's not a big, huge thing like it used to be.
No, but it's still important. I didn't realize how
is.
important it was until like he
Shortwave
talked
radio.
about it in his
Yeah,
his
when
book.
everything else is gone, that'll be there.
Yeah, ham radio is like it's the backup of backups for communication if something goes wrong in the United States.
Because, I mean, I don't want to say simple, but it is, for the most part, from a technological standpoint, fairly simple.
Yeah.
That
and you can communicate like long,
right.
Especially at night. You can hear people on the other side of the world.
Well, I remember Bubba Bussey, he had a ham radio for a long time, and he contacted NASA at one point.
That's crazy.
He contacted the space shuttle, or the space station.
That is crazy.
And it's like, called him out, like he's got a recording of it. He's played it on air on the Rick and Bubba show.
Really?
Yeah.
You just had a casual conversation with some
said,
astronauts?
Hey, this is, whatever a call sign is. He said, go ahead. And he said, tell everybody that Rick and Bubba says hello. He says, okay. And he logged out, and that was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. But that was a
James Spann!
I know. Did you get nervous, David?
Well, I mean, he's on a TV screen. He's not in studio.
I know, but I still got really nervous.
So you got more nervous with James Spann than you did Gene Chizik?
I did.
And you just were at least around Gene Chizik?
I got more nervous for that interview there than I did for the Sid Bream interview, than I did for, the first time I met Coach Malzahn, the first time I met Cam Newton. I mean, I don't know. Like,
My name's Nick, and I'm a name dropper. I'm sorry.
You gotta think. This guy has been around
all of my life.
All of my life on TV.
Yeah.
Not just around. He's been on.
Yeah, as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he is the first TV quote unquote star that I ever came into contact with.
Yeah.
Whose face I actually got to see.
Sure.
And the fact that his family, his mother's family is from here, and his mom
here.
taught here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. By the way, we've gotten more fans in Germany. Fun fact, I saw that today. I was looking at our demographics.
Guys, if you're from Germany, hit us up, please.
Seriously, message us on Twitter
Please.
@TalkOrGo.
Hey, apparently we can do Zoom now, so let's throw on a 5-minute segment to talk to people from Germany.
I mean, we can get you on. We can interview you.
I don't know if I can understand you though, and I don't know if you can understand us or David for that matter. But
yeah, nobody can understand that.
The comment about the accent that you did, that was great.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was great. Somebody's calling you.
No.
Do you want to answer it on air?
No, it's from
Jacksonville.
Florida. I owe them money, evidently.
All right, you want to get into recommendations?
I don't know. I feel like I need to just like I'm coming down right
I know
now.
I am too. Aaron,
mean-
are you okay over there? Were you nervous?
Extremely.
Really?
And he didn't know you existed.
Well, yeah. Well, it's because Aaron was messing up everything.
We said speaker.
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 Yeah, he did. Yeah. Look, buddy. The first time we ever took Dog Talk on the road for the Hospice,
Oh gosh.
that was eye-opening.
That was a dumpster
Oh, my
fire.
gosh.
I need to hear that.
I'll tell you off air. Nobody here wants to hear that, but
Yeah.
wow. Anywho,
Yeah.
So, what's your recommendation?
Not Florida's toll road there, where they take a picture of your vehicle. I got a bill in the mail the other day.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Wait,
wow.
what?
I haven't
wait.
even been to Florida for going through a toll. They sent it to me. It's not my vehicle. They took a picture of the vehicle. It's
you owe
one-
us money.
Well, yeah, I owe them money, but I hadn't been to Florida. It's not my vehicle. It is my tag number, so I've been trying to get that straightened out.
Wow, really?
Like they took a picture. It's not my vehicle in the picture, but they sent me the bill to my address.
To your name?
Yeah,
with your
my
address,
name and
but it's not
address.
your car.
No, it's not my car. They took a picture of. It's but it's my tag number that's on one of my vehicles right now.
But is it a Florida tag or an
I
Alabama
can't.
tag?
Well, they say it's an Alabama tag, so I've been trying to get that straightened out.
So do they have a
Somebody's running
picture of-
duplicate
I was gonna say,
tags.
do they have a picture
Well, I
of
went
the
to
tag?
probate office today, and they said that could happen. Like mine's a farm tag, and like there could just be like a regular tag that has that same number too. They said that could happen. So if I get another bill from them, and I've called Florida, that pay pass or whatever it is, I call them, talk to them. They're supposed to be investigating everything. But if it happens again, if I get another one, I just have to get another tag.
Wow.
So
So what's your recommendation again? Don't go
well,
through a
don't
toll
go to
road.
Florida.
yeah, don't go to
Florida.
No, I've been watching everything that's been going on with Ukraine and Russia and everything. I saw Chernobyl on a map the other day, and it reminded me of that miniseries that's on HBO, that
Oh, my
Chernobyl.
goodness.
That was really
Okay,
good.
okay.
I recommend that. Watch
Can
that
I-
if you haven't seen it.
Can we talk about that for a second? Because I really want to go back and watch that.
That would be a really good review.
It would. Now, when you first saw it, how good? Like as you were watching it, did you sit there and say to yourself, "Wow, this is really good," or did you kind of have to think about it?
Well, I remember it happening. It was 86, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember all that happening, pretty. And but I learned a lot from it. It was really good. I thought it was five episodes. And what was the question now? What'd you ask me?
Did you realize?
Did I realize what?
Sorry, I'm having an Aaron moment here.
Did you realize it was that good as you were watching it, or did it have to end and you think about it for you to realize
No,
how
was.
good it was?
I couldn't wait for the next one. It
Yeah.
was really good as I was watching, and I learned a lot.
Yeah,
too.
I learned a lot too whenever I watched it because
I
it
did
was
too, yeah.
because you don't understand how much the state media withheld during the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's nothing. It's not a big deal.
It's just so amazing.
Like it's so
Yeah.
hot that you could see it for miles away. In the radiation levels, we're spiking Geiger counters and stuff in Sweden.
Well, it
Yeah.
blew up, and the firemen just went there with nothing on. Or
Well, they
anything,
didn't
and just
know.
Yeah, they had no idea.
They didn't know how.
That's
it worked.
crazy.
All that graphite and stuff, and then
And what
the
happened-
worst
picked
thing
the
they could
piece
have
up.
done.
Yeah. And what happened to those people? Those radiation burns that they
Oh,
got.
what
Like,
just burns? They just melted.
like guys, people that are listening or watching, you have no idea how good. And what's even more amazing about this miniseries is it was written by one guy.
Well,
He
yeah.
wrote the whole series, and it was directed by one guy.
And two, I don't want to say creative liberties, like, so they made this scientist that kind of was the one that kind of figured it all. It's actually a group.
It was an
That one
amalgamation,
person
yeah.
represents the group of scientists that figured it all out.
When you say they didn't know, are you talking about they didn't know?
They didn't know
what radiation would
was.
do,
Yes.
or they didn't
You can't
know.
smell it, you can't see it, you can't taste it.
And those firemen obviously weren't trained in how to handle a radiation chemical situation like
Right.
that.
Well, I'm just thinking fire explosion.
Yeah.
I'm going the other way. I'm not going in there.
Even if you're a
I've got
fireman?
I've got some stories. If you've got time,
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
I've got some stories when we off air when we got time, and it'll blow your mind. It really will. But basically, you're talking about the firemen, and it's not very graphic. It's just very kind of detailed, I guess, about what happens to these firemen and stuff. Like one of them had a pregnant wife, and the wife just wouldn't leave.
Yeah.
And she wasn't harmed by being in his presence because he's absorbed all this radiation, but she had a miscarriage because of it. And I don't know if she ever had any babies after that, to be honest with you.
It said it at the end of that episode, didn't it? Talk about her.
I know she
Her
miscarried.
life.
I don't know.
I can't
It's-
remember.
it
It's been a
strikes
while
me.
since I've watched that
Yeah, it'd be worth
series.
going back.
Oh, absolutely.
Watching again because it was, what's that, 3 years ago, probably 3-4
Yeah.
years ago.
There's a great podcast called the Chernobyl Podcast. I showed it to Aaron the other day.
It's based off of that.
Well, the guy.
The guy that did
Have
it.
you started listening to it, Aaron?
I have. It's very good.
Is that your recommendation?
Kinda.
Okay, sure.
I really liked the movie too. I've started watching it again, but like the practical effects and everything that they did in the movie, the accuracy, like when you go back and watch documentaries on the
Oh yeah, the accuracy of the amounts of radiation and what
Yeah.
it'll do to you and stuff. I've got a background in some of this stuff. That's why I know about it.
it's
But
very horrifying. What
very.
the people went through. Like,
But the best way to describe those firefighters is, when you chew gum and you chew it too long, it's kind of soft. That's what happened to them.
Yeah.
Like just their cells broke down to a point. They become mush.
And it's interesting because the scene, and I think it's in the trailer for the show, but there's a scene where it's that truck coming through with that.
All the lead on it.
Yeah, but it's spraying the radiation, whatever it's supposed to dampen, and you've got those guys in those chemical suits, and they're spraying too. And then there's a voice over a giant bullhorn in the background that's talking in Russian, and just that scene, that little B-roll piece of footage, does so much to set the
it up.
stage for how I in my mind before I saw the show thought it would have been like total late era Soviet vibe, and I really I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching.
And it's funny you mentioned that because the other day at work, just kind of killing time. I was on YouTube 30 minutes before we go home, kind of done but not done, and I got lost in some of the Chernobyl stuff and some of the Fukushima stuff. Nagasaki, Hiroshima, that kind of stuff, and just wow.
Anytime we get lost at work, toothpicks end up on my drop ceiling. Hanging from my drop ceiling.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Where are they coming from?
Okay, so in your class
Yeah,
too?
they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay, so
Not
so
my
that
class.
means
What does that mean?
I don't know. They're up. I guess they just sit there and just toss them up at the ceiling.
See if they get them.
Aaron, do you know anything about this?
I have no idea. What are y'all talking about?
Okay, never mind. You're
Are
useless.
they in
You're
the
useless.
are they in the lunchroom or?
I don't know where they're getting.
I'm
them.
sure somebody's bringing them.
So wait, they're throwing toothpicks on the ceiling?
We've told you to go away.
I'm curious.
See, the crazy thing is we can't cut his mic. He's in charge of the mic.
I know.
Yeah. So they're stuck in my drop ceiling. I gotta go up there after this. I
After
gotta
they've been in
go
somebody's
and-
mouth more than
and
likely.
probably, and
Yeah.
I gotta go get them off the ceiling. Yeah, I know it's insane, but
Honestly.
so that's your recommendation.
And
Chernobyl.
Larry Bird. I recommend Larry
Okay.
Bird too. He was amazing.
You just recommend people go touch him or what?
Look stuff up on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah.
on
Like
YouTube.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Pistol Pete Maravich was another one.
Yeah,
That's
and
he's amazing to watch. When you talk about and to
Wow.
think Pistol Pete was before
Before
he
the-
died before the 3-point line came into effect. I think.
Yeah,
I
he did.
think.
He did.
I mean, and just the amount of points he was and the amount of stats he was able to rack up was just amazing.
Yeah, the things he was doing at the time were really groundbreaking. I
Yeah.
mean, like just what we take for granted.
Both
now,
when he
just-
was at LSU and the Jazz.
Yeah, just going between, dribbling between your legs like that just broke people's ankles at that time. I mean,
and that's crazy to think about.
Now they're traveling when they dribble, so whatever.
A recommendation?
My recommendation is Major League Baseball.
Are you serious?
No, there's a strike.
Okay, good. I was
Is there a strike? I don't
Yes.
care about baseball.
Yeah, I don't either.
I
I've
don't
been-
either,
I've
but
been boycotting
But
Major
there are
League Baseball
people
for
that are
years.
just up in arms about this whole strike, and I can't say that I blame them. I mean, it's a bunch of greedy owners, but it's a bunch of
Oh, so there
greedy-
is a strike right
Yeah.
now, Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they've already canceled opening day.
Huh.
As of the recording of this podcast.
Well, I wasn't planning on watching it anyway.
I wasn't either.
Well, I mean, honestly, what it's going to do, I mean, people are going to go elsewhere to get their entertainment, and
It's going to hurt the sport in the long run.
the double A players aren't, like your Barons and your
The Savannah Bananas.
yeah, the Savannah Bananas.
Montgomery Biscuits. Are they going to play? The Biscuits going to play?
The
Yeah,
Mobile,
yeah.
The Mobile Bay Bears.
No, they're not there anymore.
Should be.
Oh, are they not?
No,
No.
that's the Trash Pandas now.
The Mobile Bay Bears moved to Huntsville and renamed themselves the Trash
believe
Pandas?
so.
I thought the Trash Pandas were new.
No, it was a
Really?
relocation. Yeah,
I did
I think
not know
it was.
that.
I think it's the Bay Bears.
Okay, that makes sense because the Pensacola has the Wahoos.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Okay.
Columbus has got the Mudcats
The Mudcats.
right across the
and
River.
Jackson has the Braves.
Chattahoochee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chattahoochee.
So-
Way down yonder on Chattahoochee. Right, there's
It
Mud-
gets
you can
hotter
see the
than-
Mudcats
Hoochie
Stadium
Coochie.
right there
Oh,
going
he
across
said
the
it.
Chattahoochee.
I don't believe that.
Why? It's in every. You can listen to it on the radio right now.
Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
I
I
can
don't even
tell
know what
you,
that
but we can't
is.
say it on the radio.
Yeah.
My recommendation. So I should start doing what David does and writing these things down because I've actually honestly forgotten about what I really wanted to say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to go somewhere
You may
else
give
with
you.
it.
You may give you. I
No,
got
no, no.
32 of them.
No, we're
I'm on
good. You
number
actually
30.
gave us two, so
It's
I don't
gone
wanna
up.
Use them all.
He
I'm
had
on number
20.
32.
Now
There
he's
you go.
Can I just read them all?
No,
All right,
please
all
save
right.
them.
please. Just
Just save them.
Go ahead.
Just say when you
God.
decide that, hey, I'm done with the podcast. We'll know you're done when you read all 47 at that
I
time.
added 5 today. All right, go ahead. I have a lot to say.
My recommendation is going to be a video game. Surprise, surprise. It is a PlayStation game called Ghost of Tsushima, where
Yeah, so I like the story. Never played the game, but I love the story.
it's part of Imperial Japan when the Mongols come and invade, and basically they're kicking your butt, and they've killed all the people that you love, and you take up a sword and go do work. I mean, that's it in a nutshell without really spoiling anything, but it's really good. Got a really great story. Graphics are amazing. Gameplay's amazing. I know there's not a lot of gamers probably that listen to this, but if you get a chance, check it out. Just go look at the opening scene on YouTube. 'cause
It's
there's
really
plenty-
good.
It's really,
yeah.
really
Just
good.
to me, the story and the history is just so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch y'all play it. I guess
Oh, I'm not
while y'all
gonna
are
play
playing,
it,
I
but-
guess I'll go outside and throw a football to myself, like I used to.
I'm not gonna play it. I'll throw the football with you, but
Michael Irvin, touchdown!
shout out to Deasia for delivering our cake to James Spann.
Oh, is there a number
there's
that
a
we
picture.
can call her?
There is no.
Oh crap!
Because we
wanted
could
to call
chat
her,
with
but-
her, but it was before she delivered the thing, so I can't reach her. But shout out to you. Our order from Publix was delivered at 4:37 p.m. to ABC 3340 Studios in Hoover.
So
Yes, we got. If you
What
missed
kind
that,
of
we got a
cake was
cake. It was a birthday cake. It was. I
Hey,
hold
man.
on, hold on. It was a Publix Bakery
Yeah.
quarter sheet buttercream iced super fetty cake with colorful birthday balloons that read to James Spann, Talk or Go Home's #1 fan.
You just don't know what I was going through trying to get a cake over there. Walmart, Publix, I couldn't get it figured out, and then he figured it out.
He figured it all out.
Well, what, 5
just-
seconds with an
let's
app.
just
I can't.
send a birthday cake.
Well, he
There's
called.
nothing wrong with
he
that.
called the Publix, and they're like, "Yeah, just Instacart it." And I'm like, "Oh, I can do that. Just download the app." And he's like, "What's Instacart?" so
I tell you what, Carrie has gone back and watched like some of the TikToks and the shorts that are on Facebook.
yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you do the hidden camera before we started doing TikToks. where you did the hidden camera where Murphree showing Hawk how to download
Yeah.
a podcast.
Wait till you see the one today in the bathroom.
Oh, it's great.
It's
What?
great.
What's you-
Yeah, I just spit everywhere. Sorry. We did one. We
you
didn't
got
do
to stop
one.
filming me all the
We-
time.
what?
Hey,
I'm sorry.
You're trying to be funny again.
You
or
should've-
We tell
Yeah.
you not to. Just
But
stop.
anyway, no, there was an incident in the bathroom that will come out on TikTok and Facebook and Twitter at a later date.
Well, yeah, I was on the phone with a girl at Publix. I had one ordered, the whole thing, then they told me they couldn't do it.
Like now you got to use
Okay.
Instacart.
And then, I was on the phone with her Instacart. Where's the half sheet? I couldn't find it. Nothing. How
Hey,
do
what's
I
your
do
favorite cake? Like if you had to choose, just real quick.
It's not carrot cake.
You know
Sorry,
what?
Mickey Farmer.
I like carrot cake. It's not my favorite though.
this? I ate some not too long ago, carrot cake. I like just regular pound cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, either pound cake or Edgar's strawberry cake.
I think honestly my favorite is just a yellow sheet cake with chocolate icing and a big cold glass of milk. Man, that's what makes it for me. Don't poke me. I will not go. Stop it.
There it is.
What was your oh, the game.
The game.
Yeah, I hadn't made my recommendation yet. My recommendation is Instacart.
Publix Instacart. I knew
It's
that was
Instacart.
coming.
It's awesome. Now, we live in Asheville, so it's not available in our area. But if you live in an area where it is available, as in anywhere near civilization, highly recommend it. And whether you want to order from it or work for it, it's really easy. It's really cool from what I've learned.
Carrie's used it on our way from home because we have a Publix that's fairly close to us, but they won't come all the way out to us. And she can pull in the parking lot, they'll bring it out. So they offer that service as well. So if they can't deliver it to you, you can at least
Just
pull
pick it
up
Yeah.
and they can put it in for you.
I was just trying to talk the girl into just driving it over there. That was taking my order. Can't you just drive it over there? It's just
I'll pay $20 extra. Just round it up.
Literally, it's that Publix is only 4 miles from their studio.
Instacart. I can't figure this Instacart out. Can't you just drive it over there, please?
And I told him, hey, you should download this Instacart thing.
The
and use
name of this episode should be Instacart ... and James Spann.
Yeah. And by the way, Instacart isn't paying us a dime for this.
No, and
so
Not a sponsor.
yeah,
not a
they're not a
sponsor.
sponsor. I wish
Hashtag.
Instacart, if somebody at Instacart is listening to this, we want you, unless you've committed a horrible crime or done something embarrassing, we want you to be our sponsor. Please.
So
A sponsor.
So before we get out of here, I feel like we need to mention that you and I have talked, and this is the season finale, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the season
We have
finale.
to mention that because we're done for a couple weeks after this episode airs.
Yeah, I don't know how long of a break we're going to take. Probably a month or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be back. But yeah, this will be it for a while.
Okay, so we just wanted to throw that out there. This is the season finale of.
Yeah, no, we're recording this out of sequence, so it's not the last episode for us to record.
No, it's not our last episode.
But it's the last one to air. Yeah.
Well, we got 2 more, I think.
Then we have to engage in contract negotiations with Murphree.
Oh, yeah, that is true. We're
Am I
we're
fired?
sorry that we kept it out.
How much are we paying you?
I don't know, 20%.
Well, 20% of nothing's still nothing.
Yeah,
so.
hey, I'll pay you 3 times as much.
60%.
Clark, whatever you got last year, add 20%.
No, nothing. 20% of nothing.
Look,
It's
y'all,
all you now.
we literally can't make this up. He the whole day he was telling me, all right, I can't be there. I can't be. I gotta go. I can't be there. I'm nervous. I can't be there. I'm nervous. And I'm like, you're gonna be there. And I wasn't nervous at all
Until it got close.
until it got go time.
By the way,
and
by the way, great segue. Like seriously, because you were like, okay, he said 5:30. If he's
And
punctual,
he was
punctual. My
man.
gosh, he was there.
He was punctual.
Like all of a sudden, we turn and look, and there's James Spann on the
His
screen.
name popped up on the screen.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh crap! Here
Oh,
it
crap,
is.
here it
Go
goes.
time."
And then
the
Aaron
speakers were
screwed up.
turned down.
And then Aaron screwed up.
Yeah.
Aaron, seriously, buddy, we give you a hard time. Thank you. You did an okay job tonight.
Hey, have you given your recommendation yet?
Yeah, the Chernobyl podcast. Don't ask him any more questions. Go away.
Okay, wait. I got a good one.
Oh, really?
Zoom. I'm just kidding. No, it's a podcast. I really like the Chernobyl one, but I've also been listening to another one that's called Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. It's basically like a bunch of horror stories.
We're gonna get canceled, Clint.
Not make it this easy.
it plays into the podcast though. What is it? Chilling stories for dark nights or whatever.
Chilling Tales for Dark Nights.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for like 10 years. It's a whole podcast. They're still doing it. They come out with like an episode like every day. They have a YouTube channel.
God, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. And
Nick, you were
still-
awful hot on that mic over there. I don't know if
No.
Aaron's paying attention to that or not.
Am I really?
Oh shoot! Yeah, you are. Hold on.
I hope that's not.
Okay.
We'll
I hope-
fix it in post.
I hope you didn't mess that up, Aaron. I'm just saying.
We'll fix it in post. It's all right.
That's my recommendation.
he's
He
like,
quit.
he's
He
like,
quit.
he's like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this.
Aaron, we love you. We
But
really
hey,
do.
seriously, you know, and it doesn't feel like we should be making this statement, but we're going to make this statement. You know, this is the end of season 5, and I haven't said it. I've said it to you multiple times in private, but I haven't said it publicly. You know, never in a million years did I think we'd make it to season 5 of this
Oh,
thing.
goodness, no.
And you know, shout out to Brandon Farmer for starting this thing up, and really it was ultimately his idea. You know, we both get kind of half credit for starting it, but it was originally his idea, and I took it and ran with it, and we kind of worked on it together for those first couple of seasons. Why is that funny, Aaron? I don't know why that's funny.
I lost count. By the
And
way.
yeah, and then we brought Clint on, and that was a good addition, and then we brought David on, and that was a great addition. But we haven't talked about your addition.
Good.
Thank you. This is your first full season as a permanent host. Thank you for coming on, man. We really have enjoyed it. Like seriously,
absolutely,
it's
yeah.
been
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think you being on has really taken.
it's
it to
made
the
us
next
be
level.
better.
Yeah,
It's made. You
I couldn't
forced us to
tell
be
it.
better. Well,
But
I don't know if it's a shot at us or a shot at himself.
no, it's fun. Not really. It's fun, man. I had a blast.
but you know,
I just felt like I was bringing it down.
no,
goodness,
no,
no.
you have brought it way up.
You are the reason that it's being so well right now.
Yeah, you're the reason
Really?
that I look forward to record.
Hey, I'm right here.
Well, yeah, I don't care about y'all, Aaron and what's your name, Clint. But no, I've really
quit
enjoyed
again.
our time together.
Yeah, I like it, man. I got a lot to say. I just worry I say too much.
You don't say enough. You don't say enough. What?
I said that Coach Murphree is the only reason why we're here.
Yes, absolutely. He said that so eloquently. Thank you for letting me borrow the book, by the way.
All right. Thank you to my Aunt Beth. Let me borrow the book.
and thank you, James Spann, for coming on because
Yeah.
he didn't have to, and he did.
Okay.
and we appreciate.
I still
that.
can't get over that.
I literally messaged the man on Twitter.
Twitter.
Said, "Hey, we have a podcast. Do you want to come on?" He said, yeah, sure.
Now, my wife's got this too, but she couldn't find it the other night.
No.
I don't know how hard she looked. But it's somewhere
Does
in
her
our
copy
house,
have
too.
little hearts around James Spann?
Yeah, that's probably why she wouldn't show it to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you enjoyed this? Have you enjoyed the
The
podcast?
season? Yeah, I love doing it.
Yeah, do you really?
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry.
I do too.
Sometimes I worry that you don't. Sometimes I worry that we put too much pressure on you.
Too
This
much
has
pressure.
got
I don't
me.
have any pressure on me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
He comes in here and
No.
talks and goes home.
Yeah. I don't do nothing. No, hook up and anything. No
Yeah, it's
wires,
all
nothing.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is all Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Shut up.
All right. On that note, we're gonna leave, but don't forget you can talk.
We're listening to James Spann.
Or, Did you don't stop? Okay, never mind.
He already stopped. Why did you stop recording?
Every episode. No, we
But
always.
we gotta edit it. You can just let it keep going. We always let it keep going. That's where we get our B-roll from, dude.
No, hey, the Zoom is recording.
Hey!